Hey there, y'all. Still continuing. Still talking about some gaze stability, right? When it comes to gaze stability, the gamut is wide for different variations that we can do depending on head rotation, body rotation, head angle, all of the above. So what we want to talk about today is using our Cartesian cross again, but what we're going to do is we are going to facilitate different canals to, again, get the most bang for our buck for our gaze stability. So again, I have my Cartesian cross. When we're doing our gaze stability, of course, we always want our center dot arm's distance away, right at eye level. But what we're going to play around with today, like I mentioned before, is we're going to start going off of different planes. Instead of just a pure no-no or a pure yes-yes, we're actually going to start to angulate and try to fire into specifically different canals, whether we're talking the LARP plane, left anterior, right posterior, or route plane, right anterior, left posterior. LARP, route, I know, it's kind of confusing terminology. That's why working with a professional is always recommended. But if you have not worked with a professional, right, if you know that maybe I've been having to do an Epley maneuver either to the right or left, might give us a indication of needing to do one set of variations versus the other, right? Let's say if I know that I've been working with a specialist and they've been doing right Epley maneuvers, right? I may need to do some gaze stability in the LARP plane because as I take my head back and right, that's firing into the same system as that Epley maneuver. Same thing with the left Epley and the left posterior, but I'm gonna practice today like I have a right posterior issue, okay? So what I'm gonna do, again, we're right in that center point. I'm gonna turn my head 45 degrees to the right, to get into that plane of that right posterior canal, and I'm gonna tilt my head back, keeping my eyes locked on the target, and forward. Just like every other gaze stability exercise we've done up to this point, right? We wanna make sure our eyes are locked onto the target. If we feel like they strain as we kind of move through, we may be going too far and the eyes have not worked into that position. So maybe I'm not going all the way back and all the way forward. It may be a very small range of motion, but what that does is that makes sure that we have perfect reps to really dial in that nervous system. So I have my head turned 45 degrees. I'm tilting back and forth. In this case, right, I'm now facilitating my left posterior canal because my head is turned left. I'm nodding forward, I'm nodding back, keeping my eyes fixated on the target as I'm moving the entire time. And notice that I might also too, if I turn my head too far and I can't fixate on the target, that may be too much for my system as well, right? So we're always trying to stay within the bounds of really solid gaze stability, right? My eyes are locked in on the target. If I'm failing with my head off in these different directions, right, that tells me that my nervous system just isn't ready for that. So I need to work off of a much smaller range of motion. So maybe my head is just off just ever so slightly and I'm nodding my head yes, yes, or no, no. Since we're going into those canals, I'm mostly going to only do that yes, yes motion. We're not necessarily facilitating those canals, either the LARP or the route planes, by nodding our head no, but integrating into the neck, integrating into the vision systems is always beneficial, right? There may be some times where you need to do that. Again, this is why I can never stress enough that you should be working with a professional when it comes to vestibular rehab. So I would always start off with a Cartesian cross, starting off on that center dot. But as we've talked about before, there are many different ways that we can do our gaze stability. So once we're locked in solid on the dot, maybe we're doing our clockwise and counterclockwise Cartesians. Maybe we're doing our linear, whether that's vertical, horizontal, or even in our plane motions. Gaze stability is such a modifiable and alternative way to start to get that vestibular system to interact with the eyes, the eyes and the vestibular system to interact with the neck, and getting you solid gaze stability, whether we're doing our day-to-day activities, going through the grocery store, going for drives, or professionally we're playing ball sports where I need to be able to lock onto the ball and catch it, or lock onto an opposing player and track them through my environment while I'm moving my body, right? This is a really good way to really start to increase your performance. Again, whether in competition or outside of competition, this is going to be one of those exercises that gives you that little extra bit of horsepower. Go ahead and try that out. Let us know how it's working for you. We always love to hear what you guys have to say, whether we need to go back over and explain something, or if something's really helping out. The more that we know, the more that we can help give back to you.